lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Come in.
Extraordinary in all your ways. Much more. Let your light shine. Your words. Girl, you're so beautiful. 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 Girl, you are so beautiful. He gave you the moon, the stars, the sun. He gave you everything. He gave you the pearls, the fur, the diamond necklace, and the ring.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk About It with Rhonda on Elation Radio. Thank you all for joining me and my beautiful radio host, Kimmy Robinson on Elation Radio. She's also the owner of Elation Magazine as well. I am elated to bring to you this evening. I have a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful guest by the name of Tricia Sykes-Meyer. Tricia and I tried this once before, and it didn't go so well. So I welcomed her back to come on and speak to you all on Elation Radio on the podcast platform. So Tricia Sykes-Meyer is a dynamic career consultant, fulfillment coach, and author. Her fulfillment coaching system, Control Alt Delete, provides a variety of professional development services for both companies and individuals. In short, Her mission is to help people realize their passions, work towards accomplishing their goals, and move the needle towards self-actualization in order to live more fulfilling lives. She is a proud alum of the University of Texas at Arlington, where she completed a BA in Communications, and Simons University, where she earned a Master's of Science in Communication Management. Welcome, Tricia. How are you today?
I'm good. Hi, Rhonda. How are you?
Am I saying your name correctly?
It's Sidamire, but it's a common pronunciation, so no worries at all. It's Tricia Sidamire.
So tell the audience about what you do with Control, Alt, Delete, how you service your clients, and what else to do, whatever else you would like for them to know.
Yeah, happy to. So the name of my business is Control, Alt, Delete. It stands for take control of your future, alter your mindset, and delete all doubt. So under that umbrella, I have a couple of different things that I do. One is career consulting. So anyone who is looking to make some type of transition or needs like resume support, interview support, networking support, that would all fall under my career consulting umbrella. I also offer goal setting and accountability. So a lot of my goal setting and accountability clients are, they've recognized that they want to accomplish something or do something, but sometimes they just need a little bit more of that support, kind of creating a plan of action for themselves and, staying in action and remaining in action. So I work one-on-one with them to make sure that they're hitting, various milestones so that they're moving towards their goals. I also offer one-on-one fulfillment coaching, which is kind of a step up from the goal setting and accountability. We do a lot of workshopping around what are the talents that you have, how can you utilize those in order to either advance yourself in your current role, or again, that ties back to some of that career transitioning that I referenced earlier. I also have group workshops that I do. These are more on the corporate side of things, so like team building, relationship building in order to increase productivity amongst teams. And then I was hosting my No Regrets retreat, which is an experiential retreat that was supposed to be taking place in Jamaica, but due to COVID-19, unfortunately, I did have to move that, but I will find a new date, and that's definitely still going to be taking place. It is a custom curated 3 days of just fun, collaboration, workshopping, but also a little bit of relaxation. So still looking forward to that. And then I also have in my training and resource bucket is the Get It Done checklist. This is really a self-paced course to help you break down what are maybe some of your barriers to staying productive. And it just takes you through the course of step-by-step how you can make good on the things that you are setting out to do. And then lastly, I have my book that I've published, I'm Sick of This, and it's more of an interactive workbook for someone who is not sure where to start. The book really breaks it down, and there's places for you to write notes. There's exercises in the book, thought prompts, things for you to take back and think about and then come back. So the book is very interactive. So lots of things under my Control Alt Delete umbrella, and it's definitely a passion of mine and how I came to grow and start Control Alt Delete. So my background is in HR. I started in university recruiting, so basically helping interns find internships and then working with new grads all the way up to like master's and MBA students on career placement. And one of the conversations that I was finding myself having a lot was, okay, I'm getting ready to make this big decision that's going to impact the rest of my life. And they were really shaken or trapped by making that decision and feeling the impacts of that. And a lot of them were saying, okay, I don't really have a lot of options, or they were getting to the end of their degree program and felt that they, only could go one way because they had, studied something particular. And I really identified with that because that's definitely something that was personal to my own story. So my family is from Nigeria, and, ever since I was really little, there were, 3 or 4 career paths that I knew that I was going to end up in. I was either going to be an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, or a nurse. And when it came, time for me to finish undergrad, and while I was in school, I had changed from nursing, obviously, because I'm not a nurse. I just remember feeling very, very stuck and, not being able to do something else, or feeling like I needed to fit in a certain mold. And so I put together this checklist for them to, just kind of prompt some of those internal conversations, which then turned into the book. And then as I was, socializing the book and telling people, in my circle, hey, this is something that I'm working on, people just wanted to share their stories of, how they felt conflicted and they had challenges, making some of those pivots and changes for themselves when they really wanted to. They want to live fulfilling lives. They want to spend their time and talents on things that are meaningful to them. And there were so many people who didn't feel like they had that option or that opportunity. And so, organically, all of the things that I mentioned under the umbrella were born, and we are going into doing that for 2 years. So it's going really well.
Okay, and that with the COVID-19 going on, business consultants such as yourself in your particular niche would be very busy. And I say that because even though for a lot of businesses it's kind of a downtime or a downturn time, you can have like two folds here. So you can have clients, that can take this time as an opportunity to reinvent their skills, get new skills, sharpen their skills, right? So when it comes time for their businesses to start up again, then they have a new set of skills or whatever, new goals to give, to their clients or to their business or their business consultants or not consultants, or customers. Or on the flip side, you can even if you have a client whose business may not have been doing so well before all of this could be a great time for them to revamp, see what wasn't working, reinstitute some new new steps or whatnot.
Yeah, I have been pretty busy the last couple of weeks, just with some of my speaking engagements. Luckily, some of those were able to be moved virtually, but they have kind of needed to pivot as far as like topics. So I was doing a career panel, and for a lot of HR teams, they have either slowed down or have stopped hiring. And so the conversation is now switching to, okay, now I do have some downtime. Are there different classes that I can take? So I had shared, there's a pretty extensive list that I put together of free courses that you can take to, add a line or two to your resume. There's lots of people right now that are thinking about what's really important to them. So, yeah, I've been doing this job for a really long time. And then, a global health crisis definitely shakes things into perspective as far as like, okay, am I really spending my time in the ways that I would want to? And so people are rethinking, what they're doing for work. So it has been a little bit of both of that. I would say people are also sometimes nervous to make, big career transitions because, they have responsibilities, family, children, other things, that they are responsible for. So I've been getting a lot of folks reaching out to me saying, hey, I'm not really sure how to approach this. I don't want to make any rash decisions, especially given the current climate, but I am thinking about, what it will look like when we come out on the other side of this. So it has been consistently busy, and I'm super grateful because I know that there are a lot of businesses that are being impacted with a lot of the different closures and precautions that are being taken right now. So for sure, a good time to, think about that mindset and think about the way that you're living your life, and is it really, fulfilling you? Are you happy with, the way that things are?
Correct. Now, what do you think that, or what has this crisis taught small businesses to do or not to do? Do you have any insight on that?
Woo! Yes, a little bit. I'm no business expert, but I do have expertise in running my own business that is, doing very well. I would say, being prepared to pivot has definitely been something that has been beneficial to me. So a lot of the things that I do, I like to do them in person. Like, I like being able to meet clients one-on-one. I do a lot of speaking engagements where I promote my book. But being able to get scrappy and pull some of that stuff and put it online, or make it available online, or make it easier for me to connect with, my clients and potential clients online versus, a lot of people are being impacted by event cancellation. Being able to be agile and flexible has made all the difference for me. I also know that, my business is a little bit different because it doesn't necessarily need a brick or mortar location, or, it doesn't necessarily cause me to have to be one-on-one or, in person one-on-one with people, but definitely being able to stay agile is something that businesses are doing right now. And, I think that anyone who has a business, they have, what their kind of main focus is, but keeping, other options or other ways that your, time, tools, talents can serve other, customers that maybe are not your main or your focus customers, because, you might need to make that shift. So I would say flexibility is the key right now. Staying optimistic and keeping a positive mindset, I think, is very, very, very key right now. Just, thinking positive and not letting your mind take you to crazy places, because I think that's really easy to do right now with just a lot of media consumption and not really understanding or knowing what's going on. And then also not having like an end date on, like, okay, when do we expect this to end so that I can continue to plan? And so I think it all goes back to being flexible and maybe getting a little bit scrappy to keep your business going.
And that's good. The point that you made up about the pivot and the shift is very key, like you were saying, because I've noticed, fast food restaurants, even though they closed the inside, they picked up on their delivery, you know what I mean? And they've already had different avenues in place, because you have Uber Eats and you have DoorDash and all these different, things that can help their business stay viable, right? And just like you were talking about with the events being canceled, now is a perfect time to do webinars and online events and hosting, you know what I mean? Hosting, your conferences online, because everybody at home.
Right. Like, I think the big, what's his name? DJ D Nice, I think. He's the guy who does the homeschool, he DJs from his house. And so, he is a prime example of someone who otherwise, gets paid by doing events. But he was able to pivot and be innovative, do something different, And yes, he might not have been paid for a club appearance, but he had, I think, over 100,000 people on his live story at one time. So, like, he has now been able to increase his, you know, his visibility. He's been able to increase, you know, opportunities for once this stuff is over. He has now, you know, increased what he can potentially charge. Exactly. And has been introduced to a completely new audience that maybe would have otherwise never heard of him before. So that flexibility definitely is key.
Yes, and that is the magic of social media and being able to be online, right?
Mm-hmm.
It definitely lends dollars to your business if it's used properly. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Now, just on even back to the mindset aspect of everything, with all of this going on, sometimes you just have to turn it off. You know what I mean? Because the news, the news is always updating, and then you have the false news, the fake news, the memes, the misinformation. So sometimes you just really have to turn it off. Because I don't think yesterday, I didn't even get on Facebook until like late evening. And I didn't check my emails until late evening as well yesterday, because sometimes it gets to be just a little too much, right? And as productive as we can be, or maybe we need to be, sometimes you just need to rest.
Yes, and that is a very, very good point. I think, and this has even been the case for me, and it's interesting because I work from home 100% of the time. And so, you know, while it hasn't been a huge shift, you know, for me changing my day-to-day routine, it does, you know, it has impacted what I do when I'm not working. And so I was starting to even get into, you know, a mind hold of, oh, Trisha, you have to be productive all the time. You have to be working on something all the time. Because, you know, I'm not leaving my house. Usually, you know, my day would end, I'll go to the gym, or, you know, I might go meet up with friends. So I wasn't having the breaks in the day. But then I have to remind myself that, you know, if I'm not stopping to, you know, just kind of turn my mind off and refresh my mind, refresh my thinking, then when I do, you know, get up to start working on things, then I'm not as crisp and I'm not as fresh. And so that is something that is super important to keep in mind right now, because you do want to be thinking through things, you know, from a clear place, and especially if you're, you know, thinking any changes or immediate changes or shifts, you know, you don't want to do that out of fatigue or, you know, out of duress. You want to be able to do it from a place of clarity, and, you know, I think it's very easy, like you mentioned, with all of the social media stuff, which also has an impact on, you know, trying to remain positive. It just gets a little bit overwhelming.
It can get very overwhelming. And, you know, depending on your leadership you may have, sometimes they make you feel guilty for resting or taking a break or even having a downtime or whatnot. But everybody is different. And I just think it's important for people to know when they need that time, because, yes, business is important, but you are important as well. And especially when we're all thrown a curveball like the COVID-19. You know what I mean? So I think people should be able to relieve their minds and rest their minds unapologetically when they need to, and come back ready to hit the ground running. Yes.
Yeah. You can't pour from an empty cup.
So now tell us about how to find you on social media and your website.
Yes. So you can find me at TrishaSitamire.com. That's TRICIA. Last name is SITEMERE.com. You can find me on my LinkedIn. You can also find me on Instagram at the lovely Trisha S. And that's where you'll be kept up to date on all the things that I have going on.
Now, what can you tell us about the book, though? Because, I'm an author, and I love authors, and I know, the book is,
has a spicy title.
Right. But what can you tell us about the book? Because I love promoting people's books, and I think that's very important.
Yeah. So, despite the book having a spicy title, the information and the content in the book is actually really, really great information. And so it basically will take you through a thought process for yourself. If you're like, I'm tired of something in my life, I'm sick of something in my life, I am ready to make the change, then it takes you from, okay, what are the things that I need to what are some things that I can consider? What is this going to look like when, I maybe start taking some of those early actionable steps? What are some things that I can expect? And then by the time you go through the book, it walks you through creating a plan of action for yourself. And so I have an action acronym that breaks down step by step how you can get started and stay started. And so, like I said, the book is it's interactive, so there's areas where you can, journal and take notes. So it not only will get you started, it's also something that you can keep for yourself as a reference guide because, our lives are a journey. And so, you might do something, now, and then 3 years, 4 years down the line, you might feel another pull or another shift. You can go back to this and say, okay, what were some of the things that worked for me? What were some of the things that challenged me? Where was I uncomfortable and how did I, close that gap? What were some of the support things that I had in place for myself? Like how was I able to, we said pivot. How was I able to pivot and make those shifts in order to get to a place where I wanted to be now that I've met with another transition? And so it's not a super long read. It is, it's more hands-on and to be introspective than, to be a super massive, huge book. But the content, I always get a lot of feedback on it, like, oh, I didn't think about this in this way, or, this made me challenge my thinking, or this made me see that XYZ was not really supporting what I was wanting to do with my life, and so I had to rethink some things. So the book is available on my website. It's also available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It was really recently just picked up by a couple of independent bookstores out in Boston. So that's been really, really exciting. And, definitely something for you guys to check out.
And I definitely will. I will go when we get off and then repost it onto my author page, because I have an author page. Girl, I got so many Facebook pages in the name. But I will repost it on my author page so I can support you.
Please do. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I definitely want to thank you for coming on to Let's Talk About It with Rhonda on Elation Radio and giving us some great information about Control, Alt, Delete.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Visit the website, TrishaCitamare.com. I hope everyone has a great evening and onward and upward.
Onward and upward. Thank you very much.
All righty. Bye, Rhonda.
Bye-bye. Thank you all for tuning in to Let's Talk About It with Rhonda on Elation Radio. I want everyone to please take the COVID-19 virus situation seriously. And, of course, yes, as always, we will stay prayed up because we know that God is in control of everything. Whether you can see that he is in control or is not, he is still in control, okay? So I just want to remind everyone, stay prayed up, stay faithful, right? And even if your churches, like many churches where they are holding services online, go online and still have service. Still take the time to worship and praise God because he is who he is, okay? And there is nothing greater than him and nothing greater than his word. His word is what's going to outlast us all, okay? And his word does not change. So I just want everyone to be mindful, stay safe, stay in if you can, stay blessed, and I will see you at the top. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.
Took me a while to get to this place. I'm so glad I'm